sharing with you in this video how to stop forcing yourself to create and make it natural instead. And so the real truth that I think a lot of people miss is that we don't need to only use force. Like, there's other things that we can use. Now, there's a time and place to put in hard work, to put in a large amount of effort, to have discipline regardless of how you feel, to be consistent regardless of your mood. All of these things are important, but nonetheless though, I'm going to share with you in this video as well, while those things may be true, other things that you can incorporate in your life as well to make it even more powerful to create what you want, and of course make it easier. And consider as well that it doesn't mean that it has to be less productive. In fact, is it possible you can be more productive if you apply the thing that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video? And so the first thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of how to do this, how to stop forcing yourself to create and make it natural instead, is to understand that what you want to be is excited to quote unquote go against your feeling. So if you feel like you don't want to do something, if you feel like there's something that you don't really feel like doing in the morning and it's not how you felt last night when you wanted to do it and you were really committed, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're not interested anymore. You don't want to do it anymore. So what you have to do is have this sort of inner excitement, this deeper part of who you are, this deeper sense of who you truly are, that's sort of excited to go against the negative feeling, so to speak. Quote unquote, go against it, in the sense that you know that if you act upon the intention that you prefer anyway, then you're going to feel a little bit better. Then you're going to feel a little bit more motivated. Then you're going to build a little bit more self-trust, a little bit more power within yourself internally to feel like you have power and control in your life. And you do that by controlling the controllables in your life, the variables that are actually within your control, that you can actually change, that are within your power to actually change in your life. So the deeper point though is that you want to be excited to do it anyway, even when you don't want to. It's not about forcing yourself and then dreading the situation and then feeling like, oh, it's like, why am I doing this? Because I have to. It's like, none of these things should be happening if you're in alignment with what I believe to be your higher self, which what I mean by your higher self is that deeper intelligence within you that just simply proves to you that you exist, that you are in existence, that you are here right now, present to the moment, existing as a person, and not just as a person, but something deeper than a person, something prior to your personal identity, which is just the sense of I exist. Prior to even you are something. You are confident, you're not confident, you're scared, not scared, you're happy, you're sad, whatever the case might be externally. You want to have that deeper sense of who you truly are, quote unquote, control your life or support your life to make it so that when you have that negative fear, you're excited to snap yourself out of it. You're excited to take the action anyway. You're excited to do it, not because somebody told you to do it, not because you think it's the right thing that you have to do, but because you know that you get to choose your identity in your life, and the only way that you're going to do it is by taking action sometimes when you don't want to, and that's how the reprogramming happens. And then so the second thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of how to stop forcing yourself to create and make it natural is to understand that, in my personal opinion, willpower and discipline is not enough. It's just not enough. Like, if you want to get the results that you're actually looking for in your life, you have to look at something deeper than just willpower and discipline. It's not going to cut it, in my personal opinion. Just working hard is not enough. That's a bare minimum. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to not work hard. I'm not saying to be, on this spiritual path where everything's just going to be easy in your life. That's not what I'm saying. But also what I'm saying, on top of that, is that only working hard is not going to be enough. You have to become something greater than just a person that only works hard, in my opinion. You also have to, not that it's better or worse, but when I say greater, I mean rise above the identity of just being a person that only believes they have to work hard. It's also about the place that you're coming from to make it a natural part of who you are, to be whoever you want to be, whatever it is that you want to do. And the way that you make it normal is by simply making a decision in your mind that that's who you are now, and then having the self-trust within yourself to just sort of become it and drop into it and act into it and act. And you have to realize that this part doesn't take any thinking at all. The trusting part doesn't require any more decision making. It requires just simply an ability to sort of, again, fall into or become that thing that you decided in the present moment. And that requires you not to use any more thinking or willpower or force. It requires simply that deeper intelligence within you to trust that it is going to in fact happen. And that's where that true action comes. Notice that true action doesn't require any more thinking. And I want you to notice this. I want you to prove this to be the case in your life, because I'm not going to stand here and have you believe me. That's not going to support you in your goals. What I want you to do is just actually become conscious that, wait a second, like actually action doesn't even require any thinking anymore. The mind is a good tool to come up with plans and ideas and to choose the person that you want to be, have boundaries and whatnot, what you prefer, what you don't prefer. But then eventually, all of that is going to be a limitation to the real power that I believe we all have within us to just simply become and be who we want to be. Just become it. Make a decision. Make a decision that no matter if you feel happy or sad or good or uncomfortable, whatever the case might be, you have now decided this is who I am. Whatever you want to become in your life, it doesn't matter what it is, really. I believe that the only limitation, as cliche as it's going to sound, is the limitations that you impose upon yourself by believing in that idea. So in order to avoid that, understand that you can literally be whatever you want to be, but the catch is that you have to have enough self-trust to fall into it, to become it. And willpower is not going to do that for you. What's going to do that for you is, again, connecting to the beingness and the essence of who you are prior to any identity that you choose. And so the final thing that I want to share with you in this video in terms of how to stop forcing yourself to create and make it natural instead is to understand that you really want to start to focus, as cliche as it's going to sound, your overall attitude. And yes, this might sound cliche. It might sound like, yeah, I've heard that before. We all talk about attitude, attitude as this like sort of stigma, right? It's like, oh, it's like attitude. You shouldn't talk about attitude. Like, really, the truth is that attitude is not just how motivated you are and how happy you are. Attitude points to something deeper. Attitude is not about just feeling happy about the situation so that you can take action. That's not just, it's simple as that. That can be a result of having a good attitude. Maybe you find solutions as a result of having a good attitude. But remember, the person that has the true attitude, a good attitude, so to speak, quote unquote good, is when they can have a good attitude even in a negative situation. That's where you really can test a person's attitude, is do they have good attitude in the worst possible scenarios in their life, when the most negativity happens, when the worst things go wrong, when things aren't going well. In that situation, are you able to maintain a positive attitude? And what is attitude? It's not how good your thoughts are in the moment necessarily every single time. You might be thinking negative thoughts, you might be feeling upset, you might be feeling negative emotions, but the question is, are you able to sort of not attach to it? Be present with it, of course, but then also like kind of space yourself away from it and then think of a greater vision that's going to eventually help you to become not these emotions that you're feeling right now. And kind of remember that this too shall pass. Are you able to not attach to it, hold that vision for something greater, and then until you become it? And have a positive, so to speak, attitude through the negative situation. A true positive attitude is, can you kind of cheerlead yourself and talk quote unquote positive to yourself in a realistic way that makes you actually feel better when you're going through the worst of the worst situations. Oftentimes it's sort of easy to do this when you feel that, that short-term burst of motivation that, yeah, I'm gonna take action now, but it's like, can you do this consistently? Can you do this on a very long-term consistent basis over weeks, months, possibly even years? I think that if you can do this and maintain this sort of attitude over years, that's a very smart thing to do, in my personal opinion. I think that this is something that can absolutely change the entire trajectory of your life, because what you're doing is that now you're taking action, yes, with a goal in mind. Yes, you want certain things, and you can even be upfront about it. Like, yep, here's what I want. Here's what I want to create. You can have what you want, but then you're doing it sort of from this more graceful space. You have a little bit more respect behind how you do things. You kind of see just a little bit more that everything in life is a give and take. There's no taking without giving something back. right? And so when you can come from this space, I believe that that little bit of respect takes you a little bit further, I think, towards what you want. Maybe it's just even less than 1%, but if you do it day by day, I believe that that's where the real transformation happens, is in those small wins every single day over a long period of time. That I think most people, they want the fast results instantly, that, you know, we're all conditioned to have short-term gratification. I want the results today. But I think that when we can take a step back and then come from that, so to speak, positive attitude through a long-term basis when negative things happen, I think that that's the perspective that we need to stop forcing ourselves to create, and then actually get to a space where we actually want to create because it excites us, because it makes us feel better, even if we know we're not feeling the best. And we know that by doing it, that's what's gonna help us to feel better, because we're literally becoming the version of ourselves that we actually want to be, versus some ideology or some idea that we believe that we have to be.